Wake up, rise up, Mell, be on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power, let the doubt unwind. Kickstart your soul, let your purpose shine. She don't just talk, she sparked the flame from 7 to 8. She runs the game, Jamaica to New Orleans and all the world. The vibe don't sleep. Mell B drop gems while the world counts sheep. No fluff, no cap, just facts and fire. Affirmation flow that lifts you higher. Wake up, rise up, Mell B on the line. News, weather, truth, she delivers on time. Affirm your power, let the doubt unwind. Kickstart your soul.
Grand rising, my beautiful kings and queens, to my early birds and my give me 5 more minutes people. It's your girl Mell B live on Lux Radio Network. It's Thursday, January 8th, and we are feeling thankful and thoughtful today. The weekend is whispering, but we've still got goals to crush before we play. So let's keep that same energy. All right, on to our affirmation of the day, and it is, and I read, I am in a state of constant expansion. I welcome new ideas, new connections, and new levels of abundance into my life right now. By Thursday, people are often looking toward the finish line. This affirmation encourages us to keep our receiver. It's about staying open to opportunities that might pop up at the last minute, ensuring we don't miss a blessing because we're too tired to look up. All right, our word of the day is lanyap, meaning something given as a bonus or extra gift, a little something extra. I'm not giving you the basics today. I'm giving you that lanyap, that extra sauce for your soul. All right, on to our phrase origin of the day. Our phrase today is born with a silver spoon, meaning born into wealth, privilege, and high society. The origin is in the 1700s. Silver was a status symbol. Wealthy grandparents and godparents would give their godchildren and grandchildren a silver spoon at their christening. If you were born with it, you entered life with every possible advantage already in place. All right, on to our headline news around the globe, starting with New York. The Sail Forth 250 committee announced the official roster for the historic maritime celebration, confirming that over 50 tall ships from around the world will dock in New York City Harbor this summer. New York's event of the day is Underground Art and Jazz Night at the Village Vanguard, a community showcase featuring emerging local painters and live quartet performances. Los Angeles. The LA City Council passed the Creative Economy Grant, a new initiative providing $15 million in subsidies for local independent filmmakers and digital creators. Los Angeles event of the day is the day 2 of the Dreamers Endures Community Craft Day at the Sunkist Library, a family event honoring the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. through collaborative mural making. Chicago. City officials reported a 20% increase in downtown foot traffic following the successful completion of the Loop modernization project, which added several pedestrian-only green zones. Chicago's event of the day is Tomorrow Never Knows Music Festival. The multi-venue indie festival continues today with performances by Cassandra Jenkins and mute duo across the city. Atlanta. The Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport officially opened its biometric terminal, allowing passengers on select international flights to board using facial recognition technology. Atlanta. Event today is the High Museum of Art Community Workshop, an open studio event where residents can work with resident artists on sustainable sculpture projects. Houston. The Texas Medical Center unveiled its 2026 Innovation Hub, a massive facility dedicated to the development of AI-driven personalized medicine. Houston's event of the day is Sound Meditation in the Cistern at Buffalo Bayou Park, a unique sensory experience featuring soundscapes in the historic underground reservoir. Washington, D.C., the Smithsonian Institute announced a record-breaking donation to the National Museum of African American History and Culture, funding a new permanent exhibit on 21st century civil rights leaders. DC's event of the day is Generative AI for Society Symposium, a national and professional community gathering at the National Press Club discussing the ethics of new technology. Miami. Miami-Dade County launched Reef Watch 2026, a public-private partnership using underwater drones to monitor the health of the Florida Barrier Reef. Miami's event of the day is Art Deco Weekend Kickoff in South Beach, a community celebration of historic architecture featuring guided tours and vintage car displays. Tampa. The University of South Florida, USF, announced the launch of a new global cybersecurity center aiming to become the primary research hub for the southern eastern U.S. Tampa's event of the day is Funny Bone Comedy Night, a comedy social featuring local stand-up talent and a pay-what-you-can entry for residents. Newport Richey. Good morning, Dad. Pasco County officials approved a new rural heritage buffer to protect local wetlands and historical farming communities from suburban sprawl. Newport Richey event of the day is Community Gardening Day at the NPR Library, a volunteer session focused on planting native pollinators and Florida-friendly vegetables. Milwaukee. Good morning, fam. The Port of Milwaukee secured a major federal grant to expand its green shipping infrastructure, including electric shore power for visiting vessels. Milwaukee's event of the day is Milwaukee Murder Mystery Night at the UWM Milwaukee Welcome Center, an interactive community clue gathering event. Vancouver. The BC government introduced the 2026 Housing Affordability Act, which implements stricter regulations on short-term rentals to increase long-term housing supplies. Vancouver's event of the day is Authenticity in Acting Workshop at Actorium Training, a community session focused on creative connection and emotional storytelling. Toronto. Toronto Pearson International Airport debuted its zero-waste terminal pilot, eliminating all single-use plastics from its food and beverage vendors. Toronto's event of the day is Sherborne Health Trans and Non-Binary Career Connections, a networking and career development workshop for local LGBTQ+ community. Bless up, Jamaica. Kingston. The Ministry of Culture announced a major restoration project for history downtown Kingston, including a revitalization of several Ward Theater area heritage buildings. Kingston's event of the day is Kingston Pirates Week Festival, a day of cultural storytelling, street performances, and historical reenactments at multiple venues. Montego Bay. The Sangster International Airport reported its highest ever passenger volume for the holiday season, signaling a strong start for the 2026 tourism year. Montego Bay's event of the day is International Social Advocacy Conference at the Montego Bay Conference Center, a gathering of global scholars and local community leaders discussing social advocacy. Ocho Rios. The St. Anne Parish Council approved a sustainability pact with local hoteliers to fund the cleaning and protection of the White River ecosystem. Ocho Rios' event of the day is Best Weekend Ever Preview, community-led beach cleanups, and early bird social gatherings in preparation for the main music festival. Negril. Negril's 7 Mile Beach was officially designated as a protected coastal zone to combat erosion and ensure the long-term health of the coral reefs. Negril's event of the day is Stepping High Festival Community Showcase, a cultural celebration featuring local craft vendors, traditional food, and live roots reggae. Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands government passed the Blue Economy Framework aimed at balancing marine conservation and sustainable commercial fishing and tourism. Cayman Islands event of the day is Cayman Cookout Tasting Series. Local chefs hosting community-focused culinary workshops in anticipation of the island's premier food festival. Nassau, Bahamas. The Bahamas Ministry of Tourism announced a 2026 ecotourism push, highlighting the expansion of solar-powered boutique resorts across the family islands. Nassau's event of the day is Junkanoo Festival Parade at Marina Village, a vibrant evening celebration featuring traditional masks, costumes, and percussion groups. Nigeria. The federal government launched the Digital Skills for All program, aiming to provide basic coding and tech literacy training to 5 million Nigerians by 2027. Nigeria's event of the day is International Conference on Healthcare Safety, a professional and community gathering at the Abuja International Conference Center. Ghana. Following Constitution Day celebrations, the Ghanaian government announced a new agro-processing initiative to increase value-added exports of cocoa and shea butter. Ghana event of the day is Constitution Day Post-Festival Social, a community gathering at Independence Square featuring live high life music and local food vendors. All right, on to our weather. New York, mostly sunny with a high of 46 and a low of 34. Los Angeles, sunny with a high of 62 and low of 47. Chicago, partly cloudy and chilly with a high of 36 and a low of 30. Atlanta, clear skies and sunny with a high of 55 and a low of 34. Houston, unseasonably warm and mostly cloudy with a high of 78 and a low of 62. Washington, D.C., sunny and crisp with a high of 52 and a low of 32. Miami, sunny with a high of 79 and a low of 68. Tampa, mostly sunny with a high of 78 and a low of 60. Newport Richey, partly sunny with a high of 74 and a low of 58. Milwaukee, mostly sunny as well with a high of 35 and a low of 28. Vancouver, cloudy with a 60% chance of light snow or rain today with a high of 38 and a low of 33. Toronto, overcast with occasional flurries with a high of 34 and a low of 26. Kingston, mostly sunny with scattered showers this afternoon with a high of 84 and a low of 72. Montego Bay, sunny and clear with a high of 82 and a low of 73. Ocho Rios, partly sunny with a high of 81 and a low of 71. Negril, bright and sunny with a high of 83 and a low of 74. Cayman Islands, sunny with a high of 82 and a low of 77. And Nassau, sunny and breezy with a high of 78 and a low of 70. Nigeria, isolated thunderstorms and overcast skies with a high of 84 and a low of 71. And Ghana, hazy and warm with a high of 89 and a low of 76. All right, on to sports. In the NBA last night, we have final scores reading as follows. We have the Bucks over the Celtics, 118 to 112. The 76ers over the Heat, 105 to 98. The Warriors over the Kings, 124 to 119. The Knicks over the Nets, 101 to 94. The Nuggets over the Rockets, 130 to 110. The Lakers over the Suns, 112 to 109. The Mavericks over the Spurs, 127 to 115. The Pacers over the Raptors, 122 to 108. The Hawks over the Magic, 115 to 111. And the Cavaliers over the Hornets, 108 to 92. In the NBA tonight, we have the Pacers and the Hornets will tip off at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBA League Pass and FanDuel Sports Network, which is regional. The Cavaliers versus the Timberwolves at 8 p.m. On NBA League Pass and FanDuel as well. We have the Heat versus the Bulls at 8 p.m. on NBA TV, which is national, and Chicago Sports and Chicago Sports Network. We have the Mavericks and the Jazz at 9 p.m. on NBA League Pass and KFAA, which is local. The Thunder versus the Grizzlies at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBA TV, which is national, and FanDuel Sports Network, which is regional. So we have the Hawks and the Nuggets at 9 p.m. also on NBA League Pass and Altitude Sports. Knicks versus the Suns at 9 p.m. on NBA League Pass, also MSG and KTVK. We have the Kings versus the Warriors at 10 p.m. on NBA League Pass and NBC Sports Bay Area. The Rockets versus the Blazers at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBA League Pass and Space City Home Network. And the Bucks and the Lakers at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on NBA TV and Spectrum Sports Net. So the difference between the national and regional, the national are the big networks like NBC, ESPN, and Amazon. Regional is you have to check your local cable provider or the team-specific app. There's also blackout, and what blackout means is that you're too close to the stadium, so you have to watch it on a local channel and not in the app. So for 2026, the new rule, giving you a heads up, is starting this season, the NBA changed a major rule. All playoff games are now national only. That means that once the post game starts in April, your local regional channels cannot show the games anymore. You'll have to tune in into the big national networks to follow your team. So under the 2025 media deal, Amazon Prime Video has become a major player on Thursday night games. So many League Pass games may be available on your Prime accounts. So that's just a heads up on how to watch those games. All right, on to our daily feature, which is Throwback Thursday. And today we are spotlighting the Harlem Renaissance. So we're heading back exactly 100 years ago to the mid-1920s, to the heart of the Harlem Renaissance. Now, we all know the name Harlem, but in 1926, it wasn't just a neighborhood, it was a phenomenon. Millions of Black families had been moving north into the Great Migration, escaping the Jim Crow South and looking for a place where their dreams could actually breathe. They landed in Manhattan and created what was originally called the New Negro Movement. This was the first time in American history where we took total control of our own narrative. Think about the sheer amounts of geniuses walking around those streets. You had Langston Hughes writing poetry that didn't just rhyme, it pulsed like a heartbeat. You had Zora Neale Hurston, a world-class anthropologist and novelist who refused to let our Southern folk traditions be forgotten. And in theaters, you had Paul Robeson, was proving that Black men could be titans on the stage. And over at Schomburg, scholars were documenting Black history to prove that our contributions to civilization didn't start or end with slavery. The beauty of the Harlem Renaissance was that it crossed every line: literature, art, music, and politics. It was an era of the Renaissance man and woman. It taught us that our joy, our pain, and our daily lives were worthy of being called high art. It laid the foundation for the civil rights movement and every creative entrepreneur listening to my voice right now. So as you go about your Thursday, remember that you come from a lineage of visionaries who turned a few city blocks into a global capital of excellence. If they could start a revolution with just a typewriter and a dream in 1926, imagine what you can do with the tools that you have today. All right, on to our book club, where we're still reading The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson. Today we are on chapter 9, which is Political Education Neglected. Woodson exposes how Black people were intentionally kept politically powerless through lack of education and misinformation. He explains that political literacy was never taught to Black students because an informed Black electorate would disrupt the power structure. Instead, Black communities were taught to fear politics, avoid civic engagement, or rely on leaders who didn't truly represent them. Woodson agrees that political ignorance is not natural, it's manufactured. So political power starts with knowledge, voting, organizing, understanding laws, and knowing your rights. These are tools, not burdens. All right, on to our cause of the day, which is Sjogren's syndrome, a chronic autoimmune disorder where the immune system attacks moisture producing glands. A systematic autoimmune disease that primarily causes dry eyes and dry mouth, but can also affect the lungs, kidneys, nerves, and joints. Symptoms include dry, gritty, burning eyes, dry mouth and difficulty swallowing, joint pain, fatigue, swollen salviar, your mouth glands, skin rashes, persistent dry cough, increased dental activities, and genital dryness. So there is no prevention, but early diagnosis helps protect teeth, eyes, and internal organs. So for more information on Sjogren's disease, you can always Google Sjogren's Foundation and also the National Institute of Arthritis and Muscle, Skeletal, and Skin Diseases. All right, today in history, in 1790, George Washington delivers the first State of the Union address. In 1815, we had the Battle of New Orleans. Andrew Jackson leads U.S. forces to victory in the War of 1812. In 1912, the African American Negro Council, or the ANC, is founded in South Africa. And in 1964, President Lyndon B. Johnson announces the War on Poverty. All right, on to African American history. In 1811, the German Coast Uprising begins. One of the largest slave revolts in U.S. history erupts in Louisiana, led by Charles Desandres. Hundreds of enslaved Africans fight for freedom. In 1937, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund is established. The LDF becomes the nation's first civil rights law firm, later arguing Brown versus Board of Education and transforming American law. In 1973, the Congressional Black Caucus expands. New members are sworn in, strengthening Black political power and shaping national policy on civil rights, education, and economic justice. All right, on to our scientists and inventors. First up, we have Granville T. Woods, the Black Edison. Woods patented over 60 electrical inventions, including the multiplex telegraph, which allowed trains to communicate and avoid collisions. Next up, we have Dr. Shirley Ann Jackson, telecommunications pioneer. Her theoretical physics research led to technologies like the caller ID, call waiting, and fiber optic cables. And last, we have Dr. Alexa Kennedy, first Black woman neurosurgeon in the United States. A pioneer in pediatric neurosurgery, she developed the new techniques to treat hydrocephalus and saved countless children's lives. All right, on to our Back to Roots segment, where we have 3 topics to learn today. First up, we have Congo cosmogram, or Diskenga, which is life cycle. The Congo cosmogram is a sacred symbol representing the cycle of life, death, rebirth, and ancestral presence. It maps the sun's journey and humanity's spiritual evolution. Life is a circle, it's not just a straight line. Next, we have Swahili concept of umoja, or unity. Umoja means unity, not just as a principle, but as a way of living. It reflects the belief that community is strength and separation is weakness. When we move together, we rise together. And 3, ancestral altars across African cultures. From Yoruba to Congo to Akan traditions, Altars honor ancestors with candles, water, food, and sacred objects. They serve as a bridge between the physical and the spiritual world. Honor opens the doorway to guidance. All right, on to our fact or fiction segment where we are still reading about and learning about strange stories. So, our first strange story is the Tunguska Blast, which happened in 1908, June of 1908. So, let's talk about the day the sky fell. In 1908, a massive explosion rocked in a remote forest in Siberia. We're talking 80 million trees flattened in an instant over 800 square miles. But here's the kicker. There was no crater, no giant hole in the ground at all. For decades, people whispered about UFOs or secret Tesla weapons. The truth, scientists now believe it was a stony meteor about the size of a 25-story building that didn't hit the Earth but exploded in the atmosphere. It released the energy of 15 megatons of TNT. That is 1,000 times more powerful than a bomb dropped at Hiroshima, all from a rock that never even touched the dirt. So the verdict of this story is that it's a fact. The blast did happen. Alternative theories are fiction, though. All right, the next story is that the anti-theria mechanism. Imagine finding a laptop from the time of Julius Caesar. In 1901, divers off the coast of a Greek island found a rusted bronze lump in an ancient shipwreck. For years, nobody knew what it was. But with modern x-rays, we realize this thing is the first analog computer. It's a complex system of 30 bronze gears used to track the cycles of the solar system, eclipses, and even the timing of the ancient Olympic Games. This level of technology shouldn't have existed for another thousands of years. It's a reminder that our ancestors were way more high tech than we give them credit for. So the verdict of this story is that it's a fact, an ancient scientific masterpiece. And our last story is the London Hammer anomaly. Finally, let's look at a real life glitch in the matrix. In 1936, a couple in London, Texas, found a piece of wood sticking out of a rock. When they cracked it open, they found an iron hammerhead inside. Now, here's where it gets weird. Geologists say the rock surrounding the hammer is over 1 million years old, way before humans were supposedly making tools. While some people claim this proves time travel, scientists have a similar answer. It's likely a congregation, basically minerals from ancient rocks dissolved and hardened around a 19th century miner's hammer, making it look like it was trapped in time. It's not an ancient alien tool, it's just nature playing a very long game of hide and seek. So this story is fiction. There was no prehistoric tool. We learn something new and different on this show almost every day. All right, on to our What's the Word, where we are still continuing to read the Bible in a year. And to summarize yesterday's reading, which was Genesis 7 through 9 and Matthew chapter 3. With these chapters, today's word is covenant, because God establishes his first major covenant with humanity through Noah. So in chapters 7 through 9, in chapter 7, the flood waters come. Noah, his family, and the animals enter the ark. In chapter 8, the waters recede. Noah worships God. In Genesis 9, God establishes the rainbow covenant, promising never to destroy the earth by flood again. So we have judgment, mercy, and divine promise. In Matthew chapter 3, John the Baptist prepares the way. Jesus is baptized and the Spirit descends like a dove. God publicly affirms Jesus as his son. And the theme of this is the beginning of Jesus's public identity. So, quiz question. What sign does God give to confirm his covenant with Noah? The answer, the rainbow. So today's reading for tomorrow's summary, we will be reading chapters Genesis 10 through 12 and Matthew chapter 4. All right, on to our tech tip of the day is guard against AI-powered social engineering attacks. AI-assisted social engineering is one of the defining cyber attack threats for 2026. Attackers now use AI to mimic voices, writing styles, and even internal company language, making scams more convincing. So, always verify unexpected requests involving money, passwords, or sensitive information. Use multi channel verification, texting and calling. Enable caller ID protection and spam filtering. And train your team or family on AI generated scams. AI makes scams faster, more personalized, and harder to detect. Awareness and verification are your strongest defenses. All right, on to our finance tip. Build an emergency fund. It's the number one resolution that people had for 2026. So 80% of Americans have a new financial resolution for 2026, and emergency savings is one of the top priorities. An emergency fund covers unexpected expenses like car repairs, medical bills, or job loss. So, how to start? Start with a goal of $500 to $1,000. Automate weekly transfers into a high yield savings account and use AI budgeting tools to find extra cash to save. With affordability concerns rising and wages not keeping pace with inflation, emergency savings is essential for stability. Experts say it's the most important step to shore up your finances in 2026, especially with this administration going the way that it's going. All right, our fun fact of the day is a giant new lizard species was discovered in Utah, and it was named after Tolkien. Paleontologists, people who study fossils, uncovered a new monstersaur species named Blaamogdo, honoring a character from The Hobbit. I hope it's not that little ugly looking creature thing. Anyway, this large meat-eating lizard lived alongside dinosaurs in what is now Utah. Its discovery reshaped scientists' understanding of ancient ecosystems. New species help fill gaps in the fossil record and reveal how prehistoric environments supported multiple predators all at once. All right, our fun holiday of the day is Earth's Rotation Day. Earth's Rotation Day marks the anniversary of the 1851 demonstration proving that Earth rotates on its axis. French physicist Léon Foucault used a swinging pendulum to show that Earth moves, a groundbreaking movement in science. This discovery helped shape modern physics and astronomy. It reminds us how scientific curiosity and experimentation expand our understanding of the universe. All right, on to our daily quote. Our daily quote today comes from Viola Davis. And I quote, "Own your story," end quote. Viola Davis calls us to reclaim the narrative, the truth of who we are, where we've been, and what we've survived. Owning your story means refusing to shrink, hide, or apologize for your journey. It means embracing your scars, your triumphs, your identity, and your voice. Viola's message is liberation. When you own your own story, no one can weaponize it against you. It becomes your strength, not your shame. All right, on to music and entertainment. We have Keke Palmer stars in Boots Riley's new film, I Love Boosters. Director Boots Riley returns with I Love Boosters starring Keke Palmer, Taylor Page, and Naomi Aki. The film opens South by Southwest 2026 and follows a crew of shoplifters targeting a a ruthless fashion mogul. Bootsy Riley is known for bold, socially charged storytelling. Pairing him with Keke Palmer, one of the most dynamic talents of her generation, guarantees cultural impact and conversation. All right, in celebrity gossip, we got Britt Eady announces split from husband Mike Cunningham. Former Real Housewives Atlanta star Britt Eady has announced her separation from her husband Mike Cunningham after 5 years of marriage. RHOA fans are speculating whether this means a return to reality TV and what the split means for her next chapter. All right, in celebrity birthdays today, we have Cynthia Erivo. She's 38 years old. She's an award-winning actress and singer known for Harriet and The Color Purple. Ryan Destiny is 30 years old. She's a singer and actress known for that show Star and Grownish. We also got my favorite R&B singer, R. Kelly. He's 59 today. And we also have Welsh singer, a singer from Wales named Dame Shirley Bassey. She is 89. All right, on to our lifestyle segment. Our soul food recipe of today is shrimp and grits paired with the beverage citrus infused water, which is orange and lime. All right, men, your health tip today is strength train 3 times a week. It boosts muscle, boosts metabolism, and supports longevity. Your fashion tip of the day is a quality hoodie in neutral tones, charcoal, olive, or cream. Either is stylish and versatile. Women, 10-minute stretch routine. It improves flexibility, reduces stress, and boosts your circulation. Your fashion tip of the day is an oversized blazer, a top 2026 trend, which is chic, powerful, and easy to style. And your household chore of the day is clean those baseboards. A quick wipe makes the whole room look fresher. All right, ladies, our auto mechanics tip of the day is replace your wiper blades annually. Clear visibility is safe equals safer driving. And in relationships for couples, plan a simple date night at home. Intentional time matters. Friendships, check on a friend who's been quiet lately. And family, share a family photo or a memory in a group chat. All right, today is Thursday, so we are giving a spotlight to our new segment, Street 101, Lessons from the Concrete. So it's time for Street 101. We talk about the hustle and the grind every single day on this show, but this morning we need to have a real talk about the state of the streets in 2026. Because if you're still grinding like it's 2020, you're already behind. The rise and grind era is where people bragged about 3 hours of sleep and 5 different side gigs. It's officially being replaced by the pivot and profit era. In 2026, the street hustle isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter because the economy has shifted. Over 33% of adults are now planning to start a new business this year. That's almost double what it was a year ago. But here in street reality, 20% of those startups won't see 2027. The grind is really real, but the strategy is what keeps the lights on. So if you notice, in this segment, I use certain words for others. So if you know, you know. So first up, the invisible gig. Gone are the days where the only street hustle was ride sharing or delivery. The big money on the street right now is asset sharing. People renting out everything from their cars to their garage space. Nearly 40% of the gig economy is now driven by people monetizing what they already own instead of just trading their time for a check. So, second, we're seeing a silver tsunami. Older business owners are retiring and the youth are stepping in. But listen, the streets know AI isn't going to fix your plumbing or cut your hair. While everyone is chasing digital dreams, blue collar entrepreneurs in trades like mobile car washing and specialized repair are seeing the highest growth because those skills can't be automated. So the toil glamour, bragging about being exhausted, is dead. In 2026, the most successful hustlers are the ones who prioritize mental liquidity. If you are too tired or too burnt out to see the next play, you're going to lose your shirt. Rest isn't laziness, it's a business strategy. So if you're out there grinding today, ask yourself, are you just busy or are you building? Don't let the hustle run you into the ground before you get the gold. So stay hungry and stay healthy, y'all. All right, on to our Before They Were Legends, where we have Madam C.J. Walker, the millionaire who started a scalp treatment. Before she built an empire, Madam C.J. Walker was a washerwoman with a dream to create hair care for Black women. Her products, her vision, and her philanthropy made her America's first self-made Black woman millionaire. See, she didn't just stack her millions, she used them to fight for the culture. She became a major philanthropist, donating to the NAACP's anti-lynching fund and helping to preserve the home of Frederick Douglass. She proved that you can start with nothing but a struggle and end up building a legacy that changes the world. All right, on to our daily horoscopes. And I put in love compatibility today. Let's see where we go with this. All right, Aries, your horoscope is passion is high. You're either all in or all out. Your best love match today is Leo. Matches your fire and enthusiasm. Your lucky numbers today are 1, 18, and 27. Taurus, you crave consistency and softness in love right now. Your best love match today is Cancer. Emotional security meets sensual comfort. Your lucky numbers today are 4, 12, and 29. Gemini, you need mental stimulation and real conversation. Your love match today is Libra, great banter and mutual appreciation. Your lucky numbers are 5, 17, and 30. Cancer, your heart is open but cautious. Your best love match today is Pisces, deep emotional connections and empathy. Your lucky numbers are 2, 9, and 26. Leo, you want romance, adoration, and real effort. The best love match for you today is Aries. Fire meets fire, exciting and bold. Your lucky numbers today are 1, 19, and 33. Virgo, you want loyalty and practical love, not fairy tales. Your best love today is Taurus, stable, reliable, and grounded. Your lucky numbers are 6, 14, and 28. Libra, you're in a romantic mood and craving connection. Ooh. Best love match today is Gemini, charming, witty, and balanced. Your lucky numbers are 7, 15, and 24. Scorpio, you're craving depth, intensity, and honesty. Your love match today is Capricorn, committed, serious, and loyal. Your lucky numbers are 8, 20, and 31. Sagittarius, you need freedom and fun in your relationships. Your best love match today is Aquarius, adventurous minds, future-focused hearts. Your lucky numbers today are 10, 23, and 34. Capricorn, you're focused on building something real and long-term. Your best love match today is Scorpio, devotion and depth that makes your loyalty. Your lucky numbers today are 13, 25, and 35. Aquarius, you want partnership that allows you to be yourself fully. Your best love match today is Sagittarius, shared love of freedom and exploration. Your lucky numbers today are 9, 17, and 32. And Pisces, your heart is soft and highly intuitive today. Your best love match today is Cancer, emotionally safe, nurturing connection. Lucky numbers for you are 6, 21, and 33. All right. At this time, I would like to thank our sponsors. Shout out to Bellow Burn Hot Sauce, Bold Taste, Big Kick. Bellow Burn keeps the city spicy. RAS Herbals, natural remedies, real results. RAS Herbals keeps the community grounded. Caloran Candles, soft light, strong energy. Calorie Candles elevates every space. And Universal Madness, style with a statement. Universal Madness keeps the culture fitted. All right, on to our announcements. Don't forget, everyone, to watch the show Chief and Gold tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Lux Radio Network, on all platforms except TT. All right, we got another day in the books, and we all handled it with grace. As we slide toward the end of the week, let's let today's lessons guide you, not weigh you down. If there is any certain topic or segment that you would like me to feature here, feel free to DM me and let me know your suggestions. I will also dedicate a segment or feature to you if you suggest one. Because of my faithful listeners, I exist. So let me know how to improve the show and tell me what you want to hear. So until tomorrow morning, family, this is your girl Mel B saying, stay looking fly, stand on all 10 in your own truth, and don't let nobody tilt your crown. Period.